Alright, so people have been asking me about Paladin and Rebirth, and when does Paladin fall off? They've heard Paladin turns bad, da 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 da. So I'm here to explain how I see Paladin, how I view Paladin. Now I'm gonna be honest. Currently, I have Paladin as like one of the three best classes in the game. I think Priest, Paladin, Ninja, if you're a PvP player, are just the best class in the game. Ninja's the best PvP DPS right now by far because they have high burst damage while able to have safety with Void and Blade Assault. So they have high mobility with high burst damage. Priest is Priest. I'm not going to go into that. Just Priest is broken. Paladin is like the perfect class to fight against Ninja because they have boosted block chance. I'll show that in a second. Hold on. They have boosted block chance. They have invincibility. They have a self heal. They have higher defense, so they take less damage from physical classes. Um, I don't know why some physical classes like that matters. Block matters against physical, not really defense. Defense is just defense. So they have higher defense. They have more blocks, so physical classes can kind of are gonna struggle doing full damage against them. But anyways, Paladin has a lot of benefits to fight physical classes, to fight ninja specifically, and it is, in my opinion, the current only class that can really contest against ninja because ninja's the best DPS from low BR, or even if there's like a gap between you. And Paladin is like the best class if there is a gap between you and someone else, in my opinion. As long as you build properly and build your defenses right, I think that you can do pretty well on Paladin. Now, I also think that Paladin is one of the only classes that can effectively run block, because as I showed you guys like a minute ago, they have 30% extra block chance from Protection of Light, and then if you pair that along with a card like, let's say, Og, I bet you have an Og, don't you? Like Og, which only gives 4% block chance max. Yeah, we're having a little. It's all right. It's all right. We're at beginning game. If your block chance, your AUG block chance will be 4%, which 4% times 4 is 16%. So that's 30, 46% block chance with AUG, and then if you get Scar, that's another 4%. That's 50% block chance with Protection of Light plus AUG plus Scar. You're at 50% block chance, which I think a melee DPS will struggle very heavily to get around right now. But then there's also like Cheryl's and the Night Thunder and the block equipment set, so you can obviously get up to like temporarily 70, I want to say, to 80% block, somewhere around there, with the right stuff in place temporarily, of course, with Protection of Light buff active on Paladin. So that's PvP. PvP, Paladin is a top 3 class in my opinion. As for PvE, the reason Paladin starts to fall off in PvE is because there becomes a time when the gap in DPS is so large between Paladin's ability to generate threat and the threat that a DPS is um, accumulating from doing so much damage in a specific amount of time is the DPS will basically be accumulating more threats than the Paladin, therefore taking aggro from the Paladin. The Paladin not being able to hold aggro. So what that means is Paladin being the tank is not tanking, which makes their job as the tank kind of useless. So you have to be able to hold aggro. And even if you can't consistently hold aggro, there are niche moments where you can pull aggro, and it actually helps a lot. Like in HT4, Paladin can pull aggro for the big fish, which I'll explain in the future. That's a few months in the future right now. But there, you can pull aggro for certain moments and um, get value out of that, even if you don't have aggro 100% of the time. As well as if you transform and use double protection of light, you'll also get aggro basically guaranteed, and just keeps doing protection of light while it transform. So there are uses, but Paladin will face struggles after HT4 with holding aggro. Up until then, it's pretty easy, I feel like, or at least maybe might have to require a little bit of effort to hold it on HT4. As long as the DPS doesn't outscale you so heavily and just do way more damage and you're able to generate threat, you'll be fine. Otherwise, yeah, you'll probably see yourself falling off pretty soon ish after HT4 releases. But Paladin in PvE right now for people like me who don't really build defensive stats or are pretty squishy characters, I think Paladin is the best for me to have in a team, Paladin plus a priest, because then I can just solo like almost every dungeon in the game damage wise. I can do HC 12, I can do APOC 9, I can do Zodiac 12 as long as I have a Paladin and a priest. Light work, easy cleanups. I just hit them, transform, do some damage, they die, boom. But I think Paladin is actually really good right now and will be good for at least another like year or so. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. That's just my opinion, though.